Well, a blessed good morning and welcome to Friday. It's the end of a week. It's so interesting in our journey, this whole idea of endings and beginnings. One wonder what life would be like without endings and beginnings. In reality, there would really not be anything that we can sort of imagine. As a matter of fact, from where I sit, I get the sense that that is the whole purpose of creation, to create that sense of endings and beginnings, to create that sense of separateness, to create an avenue for us to experience moving from one place to another, from one state to another. So as we come to the end of the week, there is that sense in which we can look back at the week, and we know that the week went only so far back, and we can look back at those days and see what has occurred in our journey over those days, and then we can more than likely prepare for the coming week and to give some sense as to how we may approach the coming week. What are the things that we want to do differently? How will we journey in this week coming? Can we go a little higher? Can we be more compassionate, more empathetic? Can we be more committed, more understanding? The whole ending and beginnings gives us that opportunity to reflect and to, in some way, look at some other way of being, creating the next best version of ourselves. So as per usual, we come into our sacred space as we take the time to be here with the divine in a special way, knowing that God is always with us. So we breathe in and out, recognizing the ending of one breath and the beginning of another, recognizing that this life as we know it is so dependent on our breathing in and out. And so we do so with a spirit of gratitude and love, giving thanks for this opportunity to be here, to be in this space, in this condition. Even with its challenges, there is a sense in which there are endings and beginnings. If we could but hold to that understanding, so that we do not fixate on the fact that one particular thing is occurring at this time, but be willing to be open to allow for the passing of time and the passing of situations. We are here. We are mindful. In order to be here and to be mindful, we cannot be anywhere else. So for these few moments as we reflect together, I invite you to be here, to not be distracted, but simply to be present and to be open, in order that the divine might very well be able to say something to us of importance. Join me in openness and receptivity. Be here now. The teacher said, I have said these things to you to keep you from falling away. They will put you out of the synagogues. Indeed, an hour is coming when those who kill you will think that by doing so they are offering worship to God. And they will do this because they have not known the Father or me. But I have said these things to you so that when their hour comes, you may remember that I told you about them. I did not say these things to you from the beginning because I was with you. But now I am going to him who sent me. Yet none of you asked me, where are you going? But because I have said these things to you, sorrow has filled your hearts. Nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is to your advantage that I go away. For if I do not go away, the advocate will not come to you. But if I go, I will send him to you. And when he comes, he will prove the world wrong about sin and righteousness and judgment. About sin because they do not believe in me. About righteousness because I am going to the Father, and he will see me no longer. About judgment because the ruler of this world has been condemned. I still have many things to say to you, but you cannot bear them now. When the Spirit of truth comes, he will guide you into all the truth, for he will not speak on his own, but will speak whatever he hears. And he will declare to you the things that are to come. He will glorify me because he will take what is mine and declare it to you. All that the Father has is mine. For this reason, I said that he will take what is mine and declare it to you. So it's Friday, it's the end of the week. And we're hearing Jesus speaking with his disciples, and he is addressing them in a way that is intended to help them understand all that is taking place, to help them to get a sense as to what is before them, the importance at this point in time of them appreciating the fact that he is going away. And in his going away, he is offering them a gift. He's indicating that there's another step, another stage in this existence of theirs. A stage that will witness them having access to abilities that right now they do not have. The ability to know the future, the ability to heal, to be fellow workers with God, to participate in this great work. And so Jesus is saying to them that in his going away to be with the Father, these things will come about because now he won't be there in a separate way as the man Jesus. Because in that separate self as the man Jesus, these works were being performed by this separate person, the man Jesus. And Jesus is saying, I'm going to withdraw myself from this experience here. And this will allow you to participate more fully so that now you have access not through me in the sense of my being here, so that it is not my work that I'm doing, but now it becomes your work because you are doing your work in my name through me, and knowing that this is all coming out of the Father. It would be a wonderful experience to have been present with the disciples at that point in time, because no doubt this would have been a challenging thing to hear. There are those in our current time that speak of changes that are occurring, about to occur in this human path of evolution and development. And for many of us, these statements by these persons sort of just blow past us because we don't have that awareness, or we don't understand, or we haven't been really involved in these things, and so they don't really make sense to us. There are those who speak of the influences of the various planets on us as human beings. And for many of us, this is not a reality. Many, really and truly, would say it is all sorts of hocus pocus. It really isn't real. It's just entertainment. And that is, unfortunately, the way that many persons think. Because in some way they can't really grasp it in their own awareness. And no doubt in some way the disciples might have been in this kind of space as they tried to understand what Jesus was saying to them. But if you listen to Jesus' words carefully, and I invite you to really go back to them and just reflect on them. Jesus was talking about human abilities that were coming on stream. In a sense, portals that were beginning to be opened that allowed the human person to do far more than she was accustomed to doing in the past. In many ways, we seem to have been okay with Jesus doing these things. But somehow we don't seem okay with others doing these things. Perhaps it is because we have taken these things that Jesus has done and indicated in a sense that he was more than the average person. And in fact, in many ways he was. But the reality is that he was also the average person. And this must never be lost sight of, that Jesus was fully human. So Jesus is here doing these things, and he's saying to the others, you will be doing these things, you will have these experiences. But perhaps there is that sense that if others begin to do these things, since we've placed Jesus on this pedestal, that maybe then we are in trouble, because then if others do these things, then Jesus isn't special. But it's not about the specialness of Jesus. In fact, it's more about the common nature of Jesus, the fact that he was man. And humanity has habit constantly of deifying, of making persons more than themselves. And in reality, we're all one. So as we listen then to what Jesus is saying, where he says that this advocate, this Spirit will be a Spirit of truth. You will bring to us the truth. You'll be able to see through things. You'll be able to perceive the future, he says. All this we have heard and witnessed in many regards. Individuals in our current time who have these abilities. But oftentimes they're not honored because the institution has not okayed them. There's an importance here for us. There's an importance that we need to understand. This journey is a journey that each one of us is undertaking. And each one of us must be responsible for this journey. And we must allow ourselves to take this journey seriously. The various endings and beginnings in this journey are for us. They serve a purpose. They're intended to help us to measure our growth and to see that we are moving along, becoming what God intended. So the week has ended, and we are here, and we give thanks for the week. We give thanks for the scriptures. But above all, I trust that we can give thanks for what God has placed in our hearts and how we would have grown during the passing of this week. Because remember, it is about growth. It is about becoming. We are always becoming more. And by the gift of that advocate, the door is flung wide open to enable us to utilize our abilities for the common good. We're not special, but we have abilities, all of us. The degree to which we utilize these abilities is witnessed in what we're able to accomplish. But we're all one. And all that we do for the one. Jesus says he is going to the Father. The advocate will come. A door will open. A man will find himself in a different space. I pray that we may understand that that reality is in our midst. And we must utilize it to the fullest because it has been a gift to us. And we must ensure that we use it. Have a blessed weekend. And thank you for being with me this week. I look forward to sharing with some of you this evening, and next week the journey continues.